Director, and he's tickling the keys over there. We got Leon Johnson on the bass. Leon. Yes. And here, holding up the corner, the rhythm, the percussions, is Brian Menifee, holding the beat down. And our musical inspiration today, live and in person, is Brother Will right now. Wow. Yes, indeed. He's going to lead us in the congregational. So why don't we do that? Let's get God's party started with the congregational. Use me.
Good morning. You can do better than that, can't you? Good morning. Good morning. That's better. Happy Sunday. My name is Patricia, and I am here to do the invocation and the reading. So, our theme for this month is Speaking Truth as Power. And today's wisdom talk, and I have the privilege of doing a power talk, is the wise warrior. And we are all warriors. So, let's just turn within the invocation first, I know. Let's turn within and take a deep breath, knowing that this is the breath of life, this is the breath of God. This is God's breath entering us for life itself. Breathing in, hold it, hold it. Hold it and then breathe it out. And with so much gratitude and appreciation for each breath that we take, knowing that we do not have to direct that breath. We have an opportunity to, but we do not have to. It is automatic, just as our blood flows through our body. All the systems of our body operate independently and yet together. I am grateful for all that is, knowing that all there is God. A beautiful healing light energy that flows everywhere. There's not a spot it is not. Knowing that each one of us is a beautiful emanation of this spirit, of this energy, of this love. I am so grateful for life itself. I am grateful for Ahiah, knowing that Ahiah is teaching that God is love. It is a community of love and light. And as we continue to grow, I give thanks for all that is. I give thanks for our volunteers, for our ministers, for our musicians, for all the wonderful volunteers that help to prepare, and today especially for our pastoral care, led by Barbara Bruner, which allows this community to be touched on a regular basis by other members, letting them know they are loved and appreciated for being a part of this community. I am grateful. I am grateful for each and every one of you that are here. I'm grateful for those that are watching online. I'm grateful for those that may watch at a later time. I'm grateful for the message today, knowing that the wise warrior moves forward to dispel fear and anger and hate and racism and injustice. The wise warrior is within each one of us, and you will have an opportunity to hear more about that this morning. So in this attitude of gratitude, I just say thank you, God. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for all that is good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. So my reading today, I have two, of course, is taken from the Science of Mind textbook. It's The Power of Thought, page 146. And my section is The Power Within, which I think goes along with our theme, Speaking Truth as Power. So through spiritual discernment, we see that we have within us a power which is greater than anything we shall ever contact, a power that can overcome every obstacle in our experience and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and a new life. If God be for us, who can be against us? God's creative power of mind is right here, right now. We have as much of this power to use as we believe in and embody. The storehouse of nature is filled with infinite good, awaiting the touch of our awakened thought to spring forth into manifestation in our lives. But the awakening must be within our thought. The word that we speak is the law of our lives, and nothing hinders its operation but ourselves. We may use this creative word for whatever purpose we desire, and this word becomes the law unto the thing for which it was spoken. We are given the power to sit in the midst of our lives and direct their activities. Strife and struggle are unnecessary. We only need to know, but we must know constructively. And taken from The Art of War, Sun Tzu, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb to every battle. Thank you.
Thank you. I love The Art of War. I think it's the greatest book. Oh, so I just want to welcome to the stage Will Walls, back after 5 years, for those of you who know him. And I want to take this opportunity, though, before Will comes on, to just say hi to all the people around you. You know, just give them a wave, and I'll go ahead and wave to those people that are online. It's so nice that you joined us this morning. So, Will, take it away.
It's good to be back. It's all good. It's all God. It's all love. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he traveled very far, over land and sea. A little shy, sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, a blessed day, he passed my way. Although we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
Oh, thank you, Will. That was beautiful. So, let me get sorted out here. So this month of July, the theme, as Patricia mentioned, is Speaking Truth as Power. And that theme means that, you know, it's taken from the idea of you speak truth to power, but we, as practitioners of this philosophy, we know absolutely that there is truth and there's power in that truth. And so we're saying that we should speak truth as power. And so there's lots of things that are similar between those two, but obviously one of the things that's very similar is the idea of speaking. I'm going to speak my truth, one way or the other, either as power or to power. I'm going to be communicating outwards. But we all know that the important thing here is communication. And one of the things that is really, really important in communication is, how do we listen? How do we listen in order to understand other people? Not just speaking our truth, but also hearing other people's truth. You know, it's funny that that as a manager, I was one of those up-and-coming managers at Northrop Grumman at one point in time. And I used to take, they would send me off to manager school, right? So I went to UCLA, to the business school that was there, and they would send me off for a week there. And then there were even classes that were in-house. And I remember that there was a class even on how to speak, and they videotaped you and critiqued you and, you know, gave you feedback and everything. But they never taught us how to listen. It wasn't until I went to practitioner school, you know, became a practitioner, that I really learned how to listen to other people. Not listen to other people from the place of, you know, where do their points agree with my points and where do their points not agree with my points, because I want to get a list of things that I'm going to say next. But from a place of listening, deep, heartfelt listening. And when we do that, what we're doing is we're listening with empathy. And Brene Brown, she says it this way, and you know, she's very eloquent, so she says a lot in a little bit here. She says, empathy has no script. There is no right way or wrong way to do it. It's simply listening, holding space, withholding judgment, emotionally connecting, and communicating that incredibly healing message of you are not alone. Isn't that a gift? That's a gift that we can give to other people, whether we know them, whether we love them already or not. Empathy is about opening our hearts wide and giving of that. And so I have a question for you. You know, what helps you to listen with empathy? Let me tell you one thing that I do in order to listen from that place of empathy within me is I center myself. If I know I'm going to go into a conversation where I want to do active listening, I will make sure that I'm centered. I'm here in this now moment, that I've let go of the agenda, you know, for the future, that I've let go of the past, the interactions maybe I've had with this person before, and I come in this now moment, this place where all creation exists in the now moment right now, the power of the now. And I listen from that place. How about you? What do you guys do to try and help yourself to listen with empathy? I heard Reverend Mike said that he breathes. I heard something from Brent. Say that again, I'm sorry. Oh, say the serenity prayer. That's a good one. Yeah. Any way to get us right to this moment. Who else has something, a trick up their sleeve? Oh, yes. Have the desire to understand. I think I'm going to turn the microphone over to you guys because you have some of the real underlying ideas. Let me give you a couple more. This is really kind of along what Ruby said, the desire to understand, caring about that other person, what they have to say, right? And then another one for me is, so if you ever see me doing this, you'll know why I'm doing it. Sometimes I sit on my hands, right? And it's just a simple reminder that I'm not here to do the talking. I'm not here to do the activities, because as you notice, I tend to talk with my hands a lot, right? So if I sit on my hands, then it reminds me I'm not here to talk. I'm here to listen. So we got a lot more to talk about on that. You guys have a lot more to listen to. I'd like to go ahead and ask Patricia to come on up. She's going to tell us a little bit about what she knows about speaking truth as power.
Well, my reading was speaking truth of power, but I took the wise warrior because I think each one of us in the times that we're living with so much fear being just pushed at us continuously through the media, through conversation, through commercials, through whatever, that sometimes we have to be a wise warrior for ourselves. And I know that for me, sometimes the ego will try to control and take over as resistance, as fear. And as a wise warrior, it's up to me to show that listening and empathy for myself, to be caring and loving to me. It's part of the self-love. And to do that, we have to go into our heart and allow our hearts to guide us, to give us that wisdom to control the ego, which is also an aspect of ourselves. So as a wise warrior for myself, I am using my heart to move the ego aside. And a quote that fits right in, it says, "The wise warrior avoids the battle. He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. This is sound advice because often in anger we take decisions that we regret later." Well, when we are reacting, when we are coming from anger, we are coming from ego. And ego is controlling us, not our heart space. So as a wise warrior, I listen to my heart first and tell my ego to go set its butt down. It's it's almost that sometimes you'll feel a conflict within yourself between your ego and your heart, or your intellect and your heart. Your intellect is also governed by your ego. So before we can be a wise warrior out in the world, we have to be a wise warrior for ourselves first. And that means we come from our heart space. We listen to our heart. And know that your heart has a brain. And that brain is 100 times more powerful than the intellectual brain in our head. So I choose personally to listen to my heart, to feel the love and respond to situations rather than listening to the ego, living in fear, being angry and resistance, and allowing the ego to control and direct my life. So I invite you to just use your heart space and let that heart and the love that is in that heart govern your decisions and guide you through this life. Thank you.
Words from a wise warrior. Absolutely. So, the wise warrior. You know, we're very familiar with the warrior idea, aren't we? But there are warriors, there are war warriors, and then there are wise warriors. And the war warriors, you know, we're very familiar with this idea because they're everywhere, aren't they? The United States has 1.4 million people that are enrolled in our armed services. And I don't want anybody to take away that there's something wrong with that, because we as a country do need that. We do need those people, and I honor them for their service. The issue has more to do not with them, but with the ideas that end up coming from that activity and encroaching into our society as a whole. And some of those things are might makes right. Right? That's an idea that's based on a war concept. And so we all know the route that one takes us down. Right? We've seen World War II. We've seen the Cold War. We've seen Ukraine. So we know where might makes right takes us on a global scale, but it also takes us places where we don't want to go on a personal scale too. More of a societal impact of might makes right, those who are on top want to stay on top, is racism. You know, we see that through the use of things like Jim Crow laws. We see it through all of the things that have shown up over years, decades, millennia, or not millennium, but centuries here in the United States. And so we know that there are things that we don't want out of that Cold War might makes right mentality. You know, sometimes in our kind of use of this, we look at being assertive too. Remember back in the 90s, there was assertiveness training people would go to? You know, and actually I went back and I looked this week at some of the things that were being published at that time about assertiveness training. And to be honest, many of those things were actually not bad. You know, it was a response to people, you know, not having enough self-love, not having enough belief in their own self-worth. And so they went out and they put this training together But I don't know if all the trainers strayed to the package that I read, which was pretty nominal. I mean, it said good things. But what I think bled out into the popular culture was not what I was reading, not the good things that I was reading. It was more along the lines that, people needed to be assertive in order to not be beaten down by somebody else. And there are other ways than just being very loud and vocal if we want to be assertive. And people, I think another thing that came out of that idea of being assertive in that way, out of this might makes right idea, is standing your ground. I have to stand my ground. I have to protect what I have right here, right now. I do that in very assertive and sometimes violent ways. So, that's the war warrior mentality that's bled into our society. But there is a wise warrior mentality also. There's this possibility of choosing not might makes right, but right makes right. And if we look at that, I think there's a few things I put on the screen for us to think about from a place of being a wise warrior. And so there's courageous authenticity is one idea that we can use in order to be a wise warrior. And that idea of courageous authenticity means to stand up for what is right from an authentic place of love and peace. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago about the incident I had with the man who was belittling a man that had dwarfism. You have to stand for what is right sometimes. That is absolutely true. And compassionate communication, well, Brene Brown covered it, I think, with that listening with empathy. That's an important part of compassionate communication. And then conscious awareness. Conscious awareness, well, we talk about that practically every week here. That's this idea that I'm aware of what I'm thinking. I'm aware of what my beliefs are. I'm aware of what my thoughts are. I'm aware of how I act in the world. And because I'm aware, I get to choose. I get to choose. If I don't like what is going on, I can choose something different. If I don't like the life that has been created around me, I choose a different belief. Change your thinking, change your life. And then the last two are seeking common ground and empowering others. And I want to spend a little more time on those. I'll start with seeking common ground. I think the most important thing that we can do in our life is not build the life of our dreams. That's an important aspect of our life, yes, but it's not the most important aspect. I think the most important aspect of our lives is that we can align ourselves with all that Spirit is. The love, the peace, the joy, the allness that it is. And when we do that, what is created around us is a life that is where the best and the highest is held up for not just us, but for all the people that are around us. Because Spirit, in its infinite intelligence and wisdom, can discern that. It knows that. It reacts and it acts from that place. What we have to do is we have to listen. So what's important to the wise warrior then is not the highest and the best for me. That's what's important for the war warrior. What's the highest and the best for me? And the war warrior also, he looks out there from a place of conquest, right? That's what we teach in wars. We want to win, right? Nobody goes into war to lose, right? We want to win the war. So what we're looking for is how to get our, whatever we're in the argument about. So in our personal life, that war warrior mentality becomes, kind of like the military mind. What do I have to say to get my point, to win my point? What do what are my logistics? What do I have to do to prepare ahead of time? And maybe, how do I set myself up in this whole situation for victory, right? That's the war mentality that we pull into ourselves. Military intelligence is also an aspect of the war warrior. And that military intelligence is knowing our strengths and weaknesses. That comes straight out of the reading that Patricia did on the art of war. We have to know ourselves and know our enemy. Well, that means we need to know our strengths and our weaknesses. And what we do with that war mentality then is we want to put our strengths against their weaknesses and cover our weaknesses with our strengths. Right? And we do that in the real world. We can live from that place. And then this is another one that is true about the war mentality. The use of deception, right? If you're at war, you don't want the other people to know what's going on with you. You want to hide all your stuff. I heard the other day that Russia was out there painting tarmacs with fake airplanes, right? That just paint a picture of an airplane on a runway in order to confuse the drones overhead. My mother would have said, just tell them. Just tell them anything in order to get what you need, what you want. Now, the wise warrior, though, the wise warrior does something different. The wise warrior truly does seek common ground. And when we talk about common ground, the question is, how do we get to common ground? I think Stephen Covey has really said it well. He says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Don't we usually do it the other way around? Right? Don't we have a tendency to do, I want to be understood, I'm going to get out in the world, I'm going to tell everybody my points, make sure that they know them. But what he's saying instead is, first, go out and understand the other person, the other people, the other side, however you want to frame it. Go do that first, and then seek to let them understand you. So, how do we understand somebody else? We listen. Exactly. That's exactly it. We understand other people by listening to them. We understand other people by putting ourselves in their place. We understand other people, we can listen wholeheartedly when we recognize one thing that's really important, that there's multiple truths out there, in there. There really is, folks. We all, okay, so I had a teacher in ministerial school who told me this. She said, every Sunday when you go out there and speak, there are going to be 3 talks. There's going to be the talk you meant to give. There's going to be the talk that you actually give. And then there's going to be the talk that they heard you give. Right? And they're all different talks, aren't they? And that's because, our reality in any moment, we all have a different view of what's going on. Based upon our own opinions, based upon our own beliefs, we take in some things, get rid of others. And so we all are going to have our own truth about any particular situation that's happened. And instead of requiring everybody to be in our truth, we need to come from a place of recognizing that there are multiple truths. And so we put ourselves in their place, and we create through that an environment of mutual respect. And if we do that, those are the skills of the wise warrior seeking common ground. What about this other idea of empowering others? Empowering others. Do you think that in the real world, our side empowers the other side? If you're in a war, that'd be kind of a silly thing, wouldn't it? And so that warrior mentality is not about empowering others, maybe about empowering our allies, the people that we already like, the people that agree with us. We'll empower them. But empowering other people? No, the other side? No, that's not the warrior mentality. But what is the warrior's mentality is to undermine our enemies, to keep them down, right? That's another way that we see racism through the eyes of, is how do we keep some of the people down so that some people can be up? Now, the wise warrior, on the other hand, the wise warrior goes to empower other people. He lifts and empowers others by helping them to express their truth. Another thing that happens with the wise warrior is the wise warrior, in empowering other people, and empowering yourself really, it's the same thing, is to look for the cause rather than the effect. Because remember, folks, when we are focused on the effects in life, it's like that old saying of, I'm rearranging the chairs on the Titanic as the Titanic is going down. Right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to go out, look, I'm going down into the water. I don't need the umbrella up. Let me take that umbrella down, right? No, we want to look at what is the cause. So I put in the newsletter this week, I put a story that I want to tell you here also. It's a story that I've heard many places in slightly different versions. It's the same moral idea. But the one that I like the best is there are monks that live next to a river. And in this river that they live next to, the river is wide, and so the flow is gentle. It's easy to go and just bathe in the waters. It's a beautiful, restful place. And so the monks in the summertime, they sit on the grass next to the water and they watch over the water. And so as they're sitting there one day, one of the monks spots a man's body floating in the water. He realizes, though, that he's not moving, that he's obviously drowned. And so all the monks, they rush down into the water to go grab the body that is absolutely dead. And they're all there trying to get the body and pull it back to the shore when one of them sees that there's another body coming. And so now even more activity. All the monks are in the water. They're all going out, grabbing the bodies that are floating down the water, except for one monk. And that monk is staying up on the shore looking very intently at what's going on in the river, all the monks and the bodies. He's looking upstream where the bodies are coming from. And the monks that are in the water are calling to him, come help us. We need to capture these bodies that are floating by. We want to make sure they get a good burial. We want to find out who they are. We want to comfort the families. All good things. But that monk, he says, no. I need to go up the river. And he does. He goes up the river, and what does he find? He finds that the old bridge that was up on the river, in the part where the river is not gentle, it's narrower and the water flows very fast and there are rocks. And he sees this bridge has fallen apart even more, and that now it's not safe at all to cross. And he realizes that people have been crossing the bridge and falling off the bridge. And being a very handy person, he goes out and he fixes the bridge. And now, nobody else falls into the water. And that, I think, when we are empowering other people, we don't want to fix necessarily exactly what's happening right here, right now. We need to focus on the cause. You know, an example of that is our homeless situation. Reverend Mike and I were talking the other day, back before the pandemic, we had a homeless town hall here, and the mayor was here, and council members, many people from the variety of organizations that treat, and work on the homeless situation. But I think that we all know that the true answer to homelessness is not to care for the homeless that are there right now as much as it is to get people into homes. Right? Get them into homes. Cure the cause. Why aren't they into a home? Why are they currently unhoused? Find them a house. And so we can look at what the causes are and work those causes rather than focusing all of our attention on the effect. And last of all, I want to remind you that when we speak truth as power, we will always, always, always empower other people too. That is a main way for us to do that. Fill our conversations with love, with peace, with joy, with upliftment, right? And so I have an affirmation for you today. It's showing up here on the screen. Let's say it together. I empower others with divine truth. Let's say that again. I empower others with divine truth. And so, as you go out into your week this week, I'd like you to remember to do a few things. One, remember we started this with listening with empathy. Listen with empathy to all that people have to say. Seek common ground. Remember to seek first to understand, then be understood. And last of all, empower others. Help others to express their truth and focus on the cause versus the effect. And, as always, if any of that is confusing to you, then just let Spirit guide you. Thank you, and namaste. Thank you, Chris. Chris is going to play under our prayer today. So I just want to invite you to join me in that prayer. I drop down inside of myself to that place that knows that it knows that it knows. The life, the power, the presence as Spirit is. This life divine, this life that is the divine truth of each and every one of us. It is the truth of all that there is. And so as we speak truth as power, what we do is we align ourselves with that which God is. the love, the peace, the wholeness, the joy, the balance, the harmony, all that Spirit is. And as I know that to be the truth of Spirit, I know it to be the truth of myself, I know it to be the truth of each person here in this sanctuary, I know it to be the truth of those who are online today, that this life divine is moving in, as, and through each and every one of us. And so it's from that place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of all of us, knowing absolutely that the love that God is the truth of us, and that it creates and creates and creates as and through us all the connections that we have with other people. And it's from that place of love that we're able to listen and accept what other people are seeing. What is their truth? What is their version of reality? And we incorporate it into our version of reality because our version has just as much veracity. And so as we live from our place in the world, we live by the love and the peace and the joy and the harmony that God is. What I know is that our world reflects that peace, reflects that joy, reflects that harmony back into our lives. We live the life of our dreams, and as we're doing that, we are bringing up, we are up-leveling, we are empowering all of those around us. And for knowing that to be true, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contributions. And so if you're here in the sanctuary, there are envelopes in the pews. If you could put your conscious contribution into those and put your name on it, then we know where it comes from. And if you're online, there are 3 ways to donate. One is ahiah.com/donate. And another one is to text to give to the number, the word give. Text the word give to 616, not 626, but 616-229-2225. Or you can always mail a check to the address here on the screen. However you do that, I know absolutely that all that you give goes towards not just what we're doing here on Sunday, but what we do throughout the entire week, which it uplifts and it enables people to be and to do what they need to do to live the life of their dreams. And so up here on our screen is our blessing. Let's say it together. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. So, Will, take it away.
You guys are going to do this with me. I'm not doing this by myself. Your part is going to be what's going on. You'll know. Mother, mother, there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, Father, no need to escalate. War is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Oh, picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Come on and talk to me so you can see, yeah, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. Give it up for the band, ain't they killing it? They're doing it. Mother, no need to escalate. Forgot the words. Love is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Oh, picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Come on and talk to me so you can see, yeah, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. What's going on?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Will. Thank you, the band. And so we have a passel of kids out there. Let's go ahead and get some music. Bring them on up to the stage. Reverend Mike said, Ringleader Central. I think that would be you.
Good morning. So we're going to start with what Susan's group did. I'm going to pass it to Susan.
So they wanted to tell you what they did, so here's Alejandra.
So what I did was that, so what we did is that we made little characters and yoga poses, and I did Hello Kitty and little yoga poses.
Yes.
And the lesson was that just being a peaceful warrior.
Yes. Yes.
What I drew today was Hello Kitty on a yoga mat.
Yes.
Because we talked about peaceful warriors aren't warriors who go out and beat people up, right? A peaceful warrior is poised and practices the art of peace.
Can we see a yoga?
Oh, you want to do one of the poses, the peaceful warrior pose?
Yeah.
No. I guess not.
So we're back from camp. And
Yes.
we needed last Sunday, well, I needed last Sunday to recover. I'm almost there. And so we're going to just share a little bit about camp. And we'll start with Sophia. What's one thing that was memorable or that you enjoyed about camp?
One thing that I enjoyed about camp is U time, and the part of U time that you do is you take time for yourself to reflect, and you can walk the meadow or the labyrinths. And so what you could do at U Time is just reflect on yourself and what you've learned, the tools that you've learned for the lessons of the day. You can just reflect on how you can put them into your life.
Beautifully said.
Hey, hello. Hello.
Hi, Perry.
The thing I enjoyed at camp was happiness and the happiness everybody brought from the camp. That. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Lots of happiness.
No, my bad.
You can tell they're brother and sister.
The thing I enjoyed that is everyone's happy and they're willing to listen to you.
What I enjoyed at camp was the activities while the advisors were in their meetings. One activity specifically was where you were in a group of 5 or 6 and they gave you a word and you and your group had to make the shape or the object of the word.
Oh, sounds fascinating.
So I just wanted to say that camp is such a profound experience, and we are up at 6:30 in the morning. We're rarely in bed before midnight. There's 2 workshops a day, and you know, sometimes when we say camp, I think people think we're horseback riding and canoeing, but we're actually doing, I mean, some of the names of the workshops are Walk in Your Soul's Pathway. A dream is a gift your heart makes. I mean, it gives you an idea that these kids do really hard work and they go very deep. And so I just thought we could give them a round of applause because it's not easy. Camp is not easy. It's also a lot of fun, but it's work as well. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh. I always say our kids program and our teen program, they're not babysitting services, they do real work. So bring your kids, bring your grandchildren, bring your neighbors' kids. I don't care, bring them all down here. We would love to have more kids. Love, love, love. So I have a few announcements here, starting off with today, if I can get it to switch. There we go. The Pastoral Care Committee is putting on our coffee hour right after service here. Go right back into the fellowship hall. We got coffee, we got drinks, we got pastries, we got goodies, all put out with love. So if you're at home, you know, get out of your PJs, get down here and come have some coffee with us, all right? And then after we're done there, about 1:15-ish, maybe a little bit later, we will be doing laughter yoga with Dorothy. Dorothy, you want to say something about that? Here, I need to get you the microphone, though, so people can hear you.
Hi, laughter yoga. You don't need any equipment. You don't need a mat. You don't have to do anything except laugh with me, okay? We just do laughter exercises and breathe, and it really makes me feel great. And I hope you can join me. Thanks.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be over there laughing. I love to laugh. And I want to give the microphone to Brian. He's going to tell us about an event.
Hi, everybody. I don't know if you know, but I'm also playing a funk and classic R&B band called Smooth. And this Friday from 6 to 8, we're playing up at, I think it's called Loma Alta or Alta Loma Park at the top of Lincoln. We'll be there at the farmer's market. We'll be playing from 6 to 8. We play classic R&B and funk, and come back, come on down, relax, or you can get your boogie on, whatever you want to do. So hope to see you there, and just come have a good time.
Perfect. A few more things that are coming up. That was yesterday. Compassionate Living. This is a workshop that I've created based on the book Tattoos on the Heart, and it's a great book by Father Greg Boyle, and it is a book that really, really, really teaches us about compassion. And one of the things about compassion is if you're going to be compassionate, you have to let go of judgments. What's the number one thing that people come to talk to me about? Is how can I let go of judgments about myself? How can I live a life that is more loving, more free, more joyful? All those things are right here in this class. So Saturdays from 1 to 3:30 starting in August. It's all 4 Saturdays in August from 8/6 through 8/27. Only here at Ahiah. I'd love to see you here. Okay. And we also have our Friends and Family Day on August 13th. Bring a friend to Ahiah with you. Bring yourself to Ahiah with yourself, too. But those of you who bring a friend who hasn't been here before, we're going to give you a ticket for a drawing for, and the grand prize. We have three prizes, but the grand prize is a $50 Amazon gift certificate. So if that doesn't get you in here with a friend, then we'll also be having food. The Board of Trustees is bringing in food that day, so we'll have food for fellowship also. And then after that, we'll be having another workshop by Sky. She's done 2 so far already with us. We're having her once a month through the end of the year. And this month, she did the Divine Feminine last month. This coming month in August, or in July she did it. In August, on August 13th, she'll be doing the Divine Masculine. So we get to balance ourselves out. So if you've enjoyed Sky, I know that we've had really good reviews about her classes. So if you've enjoyed it, come back. If you haven't done it before, give it a try. You don't have to have been to any of the previous ones. I want to remind you there's a September 29th to 30th is a virtual workshop that's being put together by Home Office's Membership Council. And just a quick reminder that we are here in the office. Harris and I are here. Well, Harris is here Tuesday and Wednesday. So from 11 to 3, it's just open hours. Just come in. We promise we'll be here between 11 and 3 to let you in, to talk to you, whatever you want. Tuesday and Wednesdays. And then on Monday, I'm generally here, but sometimes I'm out doing things. So just make an appointment on Mondays, okay? And in the red there, just remember that when we rent out a bunch of parking spots in the back, so, through the week. So if you do come in here, park in the single spots, okay? And not the first one by the white gate. Any of the other ones are fine. Even if they say handicapped, it doesn't matter. Just park, come on in, all right? I want to remind you we have prayer and conversation every Monday through Saturday. This is 30 minutes at 9 a.m. for us just to come together, to be together in community, and to get prayer. We have our weekly book study every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30, Healing Circle Wednesday from 7 to 8:30, and we have a bunch of practitioners here, 11 of them all together. For those of you who are here, could you please stand? We have Frederick and Patricia. I see Chris, I see Kelly and Jackie in the back, and Myrna. And all of us, and I am also, Reverend Mike and I are practitioners, and so any of us would love to pray with you after service. Just grab us and we'll give you a 3 to 5 minute miracle prayer. If you if you're online, you can always do a prayer request online. There also, if you want to just get prayer, there's prayer requests in the pews. Patricia's holding one up. And the box is right by our Change for Youth. Don't forget to dump in your change. I brought some change today, so I'm going to dump that in. And that goes to help the youth program and sending our teens to camp. You heard about the life-changing effect that teen camp has on people. We also have a dial-a-prayer. And now we have Will Walls, again, to do our final song.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all by myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Right now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling to make it through another day, you ought to let it go, let it all go, and this is what you ought to say. I release and I let go, let the Spirit change my life. Yes, my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. Yes, I'm heart is open so wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I began to see the light. Yes, I'm free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. Yes, my heart is open so wide. Yes, I'm only here for. Yes, I'm only here for God.
You're only here for God, absolutely. So I have the benediction up here. Join with me as we say, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it, and I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. And so, one more time, I love being here with you guys. I'll see you again next week. Don't forget our fellowship back here. We got all sorts of goodies for you. We got laughter yoga in the hall after that. And if I don't see you there, I will see you next week. Thank you, and namaste.